Welcome to our next English lesson for today. Okay, so today it's Friday the 29th of January and our learning objective is to write a persuasive and informative paragraph. You pause the video now and write today's date and learning objective and underline these. Okay, great. So today, so we're going to start thinking about writing a paragraph that will be part of our Roman leaflet that we're going to write. So I want you to think about what you found out about the Roman army so far. So your research that you've been doing is really going to help you for today's lesson. Think about why we think the Roman army is better than the Celtic army, because that's what we're trying to persuade people, those Celts, that the Roman army is better than their army. Think about how different the Roman army was to the Celtic army. And we're going to use the facts that we've found out to help us persuade the Celts to want to join the Romans, to lead them, we hope. So what features are we going to use in our persuasive informative writing today? So these are the things that we've been talking about so far and we've been looking at in our model. So we're looking for noun phrases today to add descriptions so the army looks appealing. So words like strong, successful army, there's an example there. We might use rhetorical questions today. So questions that we use, they don't really need an answer. We might use imperative verbs in our writing today. So words like join, fight, put, you must. We might use some personal pronouns today. So we've got examples here, I, we, you, us, our. And we might use some repetition to maybe make our writing a bit more interesting. We are something, and we are something. So repetition where we repeat something 3 times but add in a different description to it to end that sentence. And we might use some alliteration, as an example there of strong soldiers. And actually at the top, our noun phrase had alliteration in strong, successful. Could be strong, successful soldiers if we want 3 words that start with the same sound. And then we're going to use, finally, some examples of complex sentences. So here we've got some of the subordinate conjunctions that we might use in our writing. Okay, so you've had a look at this. This is the structure that you're going to use to write your leaflet. So you might use the title, an opening, paragraph 1, 2, and 3, and then a conclusion. So we're going to be writing one of our paragraphs today, and this is going to be used in your leaflet. So it's really going to help you by making sure you've got a really great paragraph written at the end of this session. So our paragraph is going to have some clear points to support your argument and develop each by providing examples. It's going to be the main body of your text and will include lots of persuasive devices to convince the audience. So we're convincing the Celts to join the Roman army. And you should recognise that there is a viewpoint, but do not elaborate on it. Simply counter-argue with another point to support your view. So we're arguing today that the Roman army is the best army. Okay, so it might be helpful today to organise your page again a little bit like this, because we're going to be writing 3 chunks today to form one paragraph about the Roman army. So if you want to pause the video and organise your page, that might be helpful for when you come to do your writing. So pause the video now while you do that. Okay, brilliant. So let's look at, let's think about what we did yesterday. So yesterday you wrote some sentences about the Roman army. Now these sentences, here are the examples that Mrs. Anderson wrote with you. These sentences, they will help you to add in some good sentences into your paragraph. So use your work from yesterday to help you and use them to put them into a paragraph. So remember, when we write a paragraph, your sentences will link together and they'll go one after the other. They won't be individual sentences. Okay, so chunk 1. So we're going to start our opening paragraph about the Roman army by writing a rhetorical question that will introduce how effective the Roman army were. And then we're going to use some noun phrases to describe the Roman army. So I want you to pause the video while you see if you can think about using a rhetorical question, maybe write one down under chunk 1, to introduce how effective the Roman army were. Remember to look back at your research and your sentences from yesterday to help you, and then write some noun phrases to describe the Roman army. So words like strong, successful army. So think about why the Roman army were so successful and have a go at writing some of those down now. Pause the video while you do that. Okay, so a rhetorical question that I thought of to help me introduce how effective the Roman army would be something like, would you want to be part of the most powerful army of today? So we've got here most powerful army. So we're thinking about using that persuasive language that makes this army sound more appealing than any other army. And some noun phrases that I've thought of to describe the Roman army. So I've got powerful, advanced army, superior army, strong, successful army, and well-trained army. So if you want to magpie any of those ideas, add them to your planning now under chunk 1. If you want to deepen the moment today, you could include some facts about the size of the Roman army into your introduction. So remember, we want some facts into our writing today. So we're going to have a go. I'm going to model for you chunk 1 so you can use my ideas in your writing and change them and make them your own. So let's have a think about chunk 1. So here I've started with a rhetorical question. So I've written that out for you already. So my rhetorical question is, would you want to join the most powerful army that has the finest trained soldiers and the most advanced weapons of our time? So I've already got some noun phrases in there: finest trained soldiers, most advanced weapons. Okay, and now I'm going to just write a little bit more information about the Roman army and how many soldiers they have, and why I'm going to use Mrs. Anderson's word today, why they are the envy of the world. So I'm going to start. I think I'm going to start with as. I'm going to write a complex sentence. I'm going to start with a subordinate conjunction. So as we expand you to conquer. Conquer over new territory, because that's what the Roman army are doing. They're taking over new land. So that's our subordinate clause there. So I'm going to use a comma after. Are successful. Oh, let's see if I can use alliteration here. Successful, superior Roman army so they had over 500,000 soldiers. Is the envy of the world. I'm going to read that back and just check it makes sense. So as we expand and continue to conquer, I can already see there, but I've got a spelling mistake to check over new territory. Our successful superior army of over 500,000 soldiers is the envy of our world. So that would be my introducing my paragraph there. So that's my chunk 1 written already. So pause the video now while you write your chunk 1. Okay, so let's think about chunk 2. So chunk 2, I'm going to write some more facts now. I'm going to go into some information about the Roman soldiers. So look back at your research that you've done and think about, what do you know about the Roman soldiers? What types of Roman soldiers could you be, and what are the requirements of Roman soldiers? Are there age, or can you be male or female? Do you have to be a Roman citizen? think back to all those things about Roman soldiers and write down some facts that you know about Roman soldiers. So this is just notes in your chunk 2. You can just write some notes down that you can then add those notes into full sentences afterwards. And then I want you to think about, how do soldiers become the very best? Why are Roman soldiers the best soldiers? Why are they so much better than Celtic soldiers? What type of soldiers are the best Roman soldiers? So pause the video now while you look back through your research and jot some ideas down now to use in this chunk of writing. Okay, so here's what I came up with. So add anything to your planning under chunk 2 if you don't have these ideas. So I just put down here, so we know that there are 2 types of soldiers. There's first of all an auxiliary soldier, and you can be you have to be an auxiliary soldier if you're not a Roman citizen. So that's one type of soldier. The other type of soldier were the Legionnaire soldiers, and these were the elite. So remember that word elite, it means the very best. You had to be male to be a Legionnaire soldier, well, to be any soldier actually, and you have to be over 17. And the Legionnaire soldiers were fighting fit, and they served, they signed up, and when they signed up to serve for 25 years. Oh, and if you remember, if they served for 25 years, they were actually rewarded later on with a piece of land that they could get, they were given for farming, for their reward really for being a Legionnaire soldier. And then how do the soldiers become the very best? So I wrote down here, they were extremely well disciplined, they were extremely fit again, and they were the very best fighters. So they had the best fighting techniques there to become the very best soldiers. So we're going to have a go at writing our chunk 2. So magpie those ideas down if you want to get them down in your writing. And then if you want to deepen the moment today for chunk 2, you could think about how you can use repetition in your writing to describe the Roman soldiers. So let's think about modelling chunk 2, part of our paragraph. So I'm going to go back to our paragraph. So this is still one paragraph, remember. So even though it's chunk 2, I'm going to continue under the same paragraph. So now I'm going to think about writing about the types of Roman soldiers. So we know that there are 2 and one is an auxiliary. So I need to look at the spellings for that. So look at your research to help you with any spellings if you're not sure. I know if I was in the classroom, sometimes I dot under the spellings that I'm not sure of and go back to these and check them in a dictionary at the end. So that's fine to do something like that. And there are 2 types of Roman soldier: an auxiliary soldier. And you could be an auxiliary soldier if you are not a Roman citizen. Or you could be, or you could train to be a Legionnaire. So legion, to think about how that's spelled. And they who were elite, the very best. Now let's talk a little bit more about those Legionnaires. So we know to be you must be, so they had strict requirements, didn't they? You must be a fighting fit. Let's use noun phrase here, a fighting fit male Roman citizen. Fit Roman citizen, you have to be over 17 and ready to serve for 25 years. And if you think what I said about the Romans, the land where after you will be rewarded with a land to farm. So remember, we want to make this look really appealing to those Celtic soldiers. So let's just read where we started there. So there are two types of Roman soldier: an auxiliary soldier if you are not a Roman citizen, or you could train to be a legionnaire, who were the elite. Oh, who were the elite? No, they're not were. They are the elite. To be a legionnaire, you must be a fighting fit male Roman citizen over 17 and ready to serve for 25 years, whereafter you will be rewarded with a gift of land to farm. Okay, now happy with that. So you can pause the video there and write your second chunk of writing, adding in lots of different facts that you've researched about becoming a Roman soldier. So you might have more facts than me there, but I'm going to leave it there for now whilst you write your chunk 2. So pause the video now while you write your chunk 2. Okay, let's go back then to chunk 3 of our writing, our final chunk of our writing today. So why were the Romans so successful in battle? So think about the techniques they used in battle that made them the very best Roman army that there was. Why were they so fantastic at their in battle? What did they use? So look back at your research now and find some information about the tactics that they used, or maybe the weapons that they used in battle to make them so successful. Pause the video now while you write those ideas down under chunk 3 of your jottings. Okay, so let's think about, so here are my ideas about why they were so successful. So magpie any ideas that you need to use. So they had the best training techniques, didn't they? So they were so well trained. They had strength and discipline as well. They followed orders. Otherwise there would have been punishments if they did not follow those orders. So that's something you might want to include in your writing. They had amazing organisation tactics. So they fought in tight formation when they were in battle. And then again, their fighting techniques that they used, they were slow and steady before advancing on the enemy. So they had amazing techniques that they used to conquer over their enemy. And they had advanced equipment. They had arrows, javelins, huge swords, and they had the best armor as well that would protect them from their enemy. So write down any ideas that you need to add to your writing now. Your deep in the moment, your challenge today is I want you to see if you could start with a fronted adverbial to describe the action that follows. So here are some examples: while we fight, as we battle, using our tactics. Okay, so let's look at our chunk 3 and I'll model that for you now. So chunk 3, I'm just going to go to the end of our chunk 2 where we're going to continue. So I'm going to start by thinking about the training techniques, I think. So our exemplary training, alliteration in their training techniques, and well, they were well-disciplined soldiers, weren't they? So disciplined soldiers lead us to success on the and now I'm going to try and use one of those fronted adverbials. So I'm going to start with whilst in battle. Okay, so we want to make them sound really successful. So whilst in battle, we use the best organisation. That's one of the things they were really well known for, their organisation tactics, and fight in tight formation. Okay, so let's think about what they did now. So we send terrifying. I think I remember reading this in one of the in the information pages, and it's okay to magpie ideas. So we send terrifying bursts of arrows and artillery. I'm just going to move my little picture there so I can see. I did make a mistake. So artillery. You can see me thinking about my spellings as I do this. Artillery before what do they do before they charge in into the enemy to defeat with our powerful swords. So that is my chunk. I'm going to leave it there for now. I'm just going to read that back through just to make sure that I'm happy with my paragraph that I've written. So, would you want to join the most powerful army that has the finest trained soldiers and the most advanced weapons of our time? As we expand and continue to conquer over new territory, our successful superior army, Roman army of over 500,000 soldiers, is the envy of the world. There are two types of Roman soldier: an auxiliary soldier if you are not a Roman citizen, or you could train to be a legionnaire, who are the elite. To be a legionnaire, you must be a fighting fit male Roman citizen over 17 and ready to serve for 25 years, whereafter you will be rewarded with a gift of land to farm. Our exemplary training techniques and well-disciplined soldiers lead us to success on the battlefield. Whilst in battle, we use the best organisation and fight in type formation. We send terrifying bursts of arrows and artillery before charging into the enemy to defeat them with our powerful swords. Okay, so just to highlight a few of our features then that I've used today from our learning objective and our signs of success. So we've got some noun phrases: finest trained soldiers, most advanced weapons, exemplary training techniques there. So there are more there, but there are just a few examples. I can see that I've got a printed adverbial here. I started at the top here with as, and I've got a nice complex sentence there. We have got some, let me just remind us of our signs of success here. So imperative verbs, have I got some imperative verbs in there? Join, fight, put. So let's look for some of those in our paragraph. And imperative verbs: join, would you want to join army? You could train, so telling you what you can do. You must, you will. So there are some of those examples. Personal pronouns then, so the words like you want to join our successful army, you again, you will be rewarded, we. So there are lots of examples of personal pronouns there. Did I have any alliteration? I'm sure I had some alliteration somewhere. So I'm sure. Ah, yes, we did. Yeah, we had successful superior Roman army. So when you finish writing your paragraph, go back through and just check, have you used some of those examples of our signs of success for today. So here's my model. Have a go at writing your paragraph about the Roman army and then go through and check that you've got all those signs of success. I look forward to reading your paragraph and remember, lots of interesting facts that you've been researching. Okay, brilliant, Year 4, well done. I look forward to reading these.